Well, g'day everybody. We're back, and today we're going to be working on a 2015 Mini. What we're going to be doing today is changing out the variable timing solenoids, the VANOS solenoids in this car. And there's an exhaust and an intake, and we're going to be changing both of them. So having said that, let's get started. Start by popping the hood.
This is the Mini Cooper S, which has the N18 in it with the turbo.
Yes, and you can tell this model engine from the
N14
by this engine cover here, and the ducting is different. On these ones it's solid, on the N14 it's a flexible hose. Okay, now this is the exhaust solenoid right here, and it's held in with, I believe, a T30 Torx, and I've just got my finger on it. I know it's hard to see, but it's on the bottom there. Believe it or not, this is the easy one to get at. There's the intake solenoid is located right here. You follow this wire there, and that's it right there. And to get this one out, I just find it's easier. We're going to have to remove some of this tubing and this intake box. So let's get started with that. This is a T25 Torx. And put them in your parts bucket. Using a 7mm. Loosen these clamps. There's one here. And one here. And this guy. Slide this up like that. And lift. And that will unplug like that. Remove this harness, both sides. Now we're going to remove this line, and it's attached here, so we just pop that out like that. Depress this and lift. Just wiggle that a little bit. Comes off just like that. Then remove this end. Okay, now that you've got it off, there's one more line. It's just easier to get at once you've removed it. And once again, just lift up on this little retainer and slide it off of there. Just like that. And remove it. Now remove this harness. And there's a little square tab right at the top there. Just depress that. You can use a tool, but if you got strong fingers, you just pop it like that. Now, if you have to, get a flathead screwdriver and get underneath there and kind of slide these tabs down a bit. You just pull on that, and they are stubborn. You better believe it. This will help you get the tabs loose. You have to give it a good yank. Ooh. Sucker's really in there. And that should be good enough for our purposes. Okay, now you just grab the whole thing and just pop it up out of there. And if these are a little sticky, like this one's been on there for a while, I already broke it loose, but I'm just going to show you guys how to get it out of there. The grommets are right here and right here. And if they're a little sticky, just give them a little shot of Deep Creep or Rust Check or some kind of lubricating oil. Just kind of squirm them around a little bit. Oh, and they slide right out of there. Okay, once you've got it up and out of there, there's one more line on a hanger back here. Just slide him out of the retainer like that. Another one right here on the housing. He just slides off like that. And one more right here. And him, you can just, if you squeeze these, or if you use a pick or a flathead screwdriver, you just squeeze these tabs like that and force them back through the hole, and he'll come right out of there. That should be it. And there you go. There's one more hose clamp way down at the bottom there. And you can see it's kind of a tight spot. It's also 7mm. But you can get a bit of a turn on it there. Loosen that up. Remove the upper hose. And now, if you want, you can even leave this guy in there and just kind of move him out of the way. All we want is access to the solenoid, which is right there now. Okay, now just grab it up here and give it kind of a twist back and forth. You can see it's coming there. Oh, there we go. Pull him right out of there like that. Now we're going to unplug the solenoid. What you do is get under this little tab here. It's harder to see on the intake, so I'm going to show you on this one. There's a little tab, and you've got to get under it. You can use a pick. You can use a small screwdriver if you can get it in there. Just kind of lift up on that tab. You can see it moving there. Can you get a zoom into that, Sarah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just lift him up and slide him off like that, and then you won't break them. Now we're going to remove the T30 bolt holding it, and it's this guy right in the bottom there. I know that's a tight spot, guys, but try and get in there, sir. Break him loose like that. Once you got him broke loose, use the get it back in it there. Prevent dropping that sucker. You want to get on them with a magnet like that before you let go with the socket. Now, if you don't have a magnet, that's okay too. Put your finger under it like that. Work them out. And just hold them like that. As you pull them out of there, don't drop it, because you probably never see it again.
No.
And put them in your parts bucket. Got a little penetrating fluid on that, because it looks sticky to me. Okay, get on that little slot there is in them there, and just, oh, there you go, just like that. They can be a little sticky, don't worry. They will come out. And there's the old one right there. And there's a little slot you can get the bar in, and you can kind of pry off the cylinder head, and that'll help you pop it out of there. Wipe off that mating surface. Clean up that hole a little bit. Like that.
Don't need that part.
Don't need that part. Get our new one out here. Ooh, isn't that pretty, eh?
Shiny.
Always have your knife, folks. There we go. Now, before we install that, we're going to put a little petroleum jelly around that seal there, and we're going to put some oil on it, just so when it slips in there, we don't damage anything. Okay, you can use oil or you can use petroleum jelly, which either is fine. I just find the petroleum jelly helps the seal slip in nice, and it doesn't tear it or do any damage, and it kind of stays where you put it, and it won't hurt the engine at all. You can also use just engine oil, just like that, and that's just fine. Okay, let's put her in. Okay, make sure the tab is facing down. Just put it squarely in there like that. It should just pop right in. Now we're going to reinstall the T30. Once again, be careful you do not drop this thing. Just spin it in by hand. till you bottom it out. I think I got her.
Looks like it.
There we go. She bottom it out. Ratchet on there. There we go. There's that tight spot. Just snug it up. That's all it needs. It's an aluminum head. Don't go ham on it. That's why it's just a little T30 Torx. We're just gonna plug it back in, just like that. Okay. Open the tab and pull her off like that. You can see this one, the tab faces down, so it's very hard to see. So you just get the pick in the end of it there, and you can see I'm moving it. And that's how you get it off without breaking it. If you break that tab off, it won't lock on when you put it on, and it can just shake loose and you'll lose communication with it. Now the T30 on this one is facing at an angle this way, and if I put my finger in it, it's right there. It's not straight down like the other one, just so you know. It's right there under the intake manifold, and we're not taking that off too. That's enough. That's why we took all these hoses off, so you can get enough clearance to get in there, get a swing on it. So once again with your T30, okay, after much fishing around, I believe we're on it there. Oh, there we go. Give it a sharp snap. Pull the ratchet off. Yeah, there it is. Spin that out. Keep pressure inward when you're doing this, so you don't, when you get to the end, you don't just drop it down there, because like I said, you'll probably never see it again.
Mm-hmm.
We'll use the magnet, just so we did it both ways. And throw them in your parts bucket. Once again, you can see that little notch there, right on the side. I'll try and get some good light in there. Get your bar in there. Just, yeah, there we go. And just break it loose like that, and you get under the bottom of it. Should just come right out of there. Oh yeah, that one's shot. Wipe off that mating surface. Now the new one. Now we'll lube that one up. A little bit on there. A little bit of oil. Good measure. There you go. Just like that. That is a very tough spot to see. Turn that in by hand once you've got it started. Just till you bottom it out. Okay, and just like a quarter of a turn, that's it. That's all it needs. And plug the solenoid back in to the harness. Reinstall this pipe. Start at the bottom. And the top. Tighten the clamps. Now the air box. Just kind of get it in position first. itself. There we go. Put this wiring loom back on the back of the breather box. This guy goes here, just like that. This one goes up in there, and this guy goes right on there, just like that. Pop it into the grommets. That. The lower intake duct back in. Just like that. And this should just click back on. Just make sure it's all the way down and it's locked in. There we go. Make sure it clicks when you put it in and that it is locked down. You have to put these both in at the same time. Make sure the lock is all the way down. And once again, click and lock. Tighten up the hose clamp. And the other one.
And the T25 last. Start by hand.
Well, that's it for tonight, everyone. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you had fun. We sure had fun doing it. We also are going to be doing a timing set on this engine. They're due around 100,000 miles, and this one's coming up on that. So we're going to do it, and whether it needs or not anyway, these usually do. They're kind of problematic in these cars. We're going to do the chain tensioner, the guides, everything. We're going to show the whole thing. That'll be in a later episode. This is just covering the solenoids. So thank you for watching, everybody.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Good night. Take good care of each other.